listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We are continuing the Set Apart to Serve series today, and we are heading to Fort Wayne to meet with new family at Concordia Theological Seminary, Fort Wayne, who packed up and moved from Texas as second career. We're going to learn more about that in just a moment. Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting the Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
Joining us today, Ross and Jenni George, as they are preparing for seminary life and Ross's pastoral formation. Ross and Jenni, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Thank you for having us.
Hello.
We are really interested in learning your story and learning about your family and making the move to Concordia Theological Seminary from Fort Wayne. And when I say family, you tell us a little bit about your family. You packed up the whole family to move to Fort Wayne just last week. So tell us a little bit about the George family.
Yes, my wife and I, we will be married 8 years.
8 years.
8 years, June 18th, right in the middle of Summer Greek. So we'll have to do the anniversary celebration there. Kind of push to the right a little toward the middle, end of August. But we've been blessed with 3 beautiful children. Our oldest, Ethan, is 5. Our middle child, Audrey, who is 3. And the baby, Clara, who is
21 months.
21 months. And they've been great during the move. They've been troopers. It was a long drive, long hours on the road, a lot of traffic, a lot of semis, navigating, especially with the 26-foot U-Haul. But, we got here safely, safe and sound. God is good. And just being in the transition, yes.
So tell us about your previous career, Ross, and how you made this decision to pursue pastoral ministry.
Yes, ma'am. So, they call it second career, but for me, actually, it'll be my third career. My first career, I was an active duty supply corps officer in the Navy. The supply corps, that's the logistics arm of the Navy. I was stationed in Japan for my first tour, then completed my active duty service in Bethesda, Maryland at Walter Reed Hospital. I did separate from active duty, currently still in the reserve, but my current occupation, I serve as a contractor with the federal government, still supporting Walter Reed Hospital, working the budgeting and contracting division in their IT department. As far as the call to the Office of Holy Ministry, I've always wanted to be a pastor since my youth. My mom will remind me, how often I would sing the liturgy around the house and everything. Growing up, I had a very close relationship with both my pastors. I wanted to be like them, emulate them, wanted to be one of them. As I grew, as I attended college, the focus, career aspirations changed. However, several years later, after I was married, we were blessed with our firstborn. Those priorities, they changed, and my focus shifted more to not only their spiritual growth, but my own. And it was really started thinking about the ministry again. It was really not till the summer of 2022 when Pastor Murray, there with Memorial Lutheran Church in Houston, he was filling in, substituting for our adult Bible study, and he spoke on the state of the Synod, if you will. He discussed the need for pastors, how the roster of the pastors will take a significant hit once the baby boomer generation retires, and just stated that it was time for men, young and older, to step up and serve as pastors. And it was just that there and then that the Spirit sort of moved me, and ultimately it's all God's timing.
To hear your story of how worship has been an important part of your life, how the liturgy and the divine service were an important part and still are an important part of your life. Through Set Apart to Serve, we've learned from research that one of the main things that has formed a man to consider the holy ministry is the divine service, how that has played a role in his life and his faith. How has the divine service for you and the community of Memorial been key in shaping you to consider this ministry?
Absolutely. Yes. The divine service itself, sitting back, receiving God's gifts through the preaching of the word and the holy sacraments, just worshiping so reverently, that definitely had a strong influence on my decision. God is present in the divine service. He serves us in the divine service. So we worship and rejoice as such. For me also, though, it was not only the divine service, but the confessional and liturgical congregations where the divine service is held. That type of divine service that's both confessional and liturgical. In my experience, it goes hand in hand with sound doctrine. And as far as the community of Memorial, they were very instrumental. It is a God-fearing congregation, so educated, so knowledgeable, from the smallest among us, the youngest little toddler to the eldest member. They know their stuff. And it's a testament to that faithful teaching given by our pastors there. Saints of Memorial truly care for one another. They love their brothers and sisters in Christ. And putting the cart a little bit before the horse, but definitely praying that I am blessed with such a faithful congregation when that time comes.
How did that community support you as you were discerning whether the pastoral ministry was something that you were actually going to pursue?
Great question. I am a reserved individual. So I was, I don't say I kept it close to my chest, but just let certain individuals know, of course, the pastors, talked with each one of them. And then there were a few closer friends of mine that I spoke to them about and encouraged it, prayed for me regarding it. And they were always supportive from the beginning. Then when it was kind of, I was accepted and it was getting closer and closer for time to leave, as more people found out that, the overwhelming love and support. It made it that much more difficult to leave. So not that I wish, I had to stay a secret, but it was just, it was difficult to leave because again, it is such a wonderful congregation.
How would you describe your relationship to your pastors at Memorial and how that shaped your understanding of the office of holy ministry?
That is a great question. It was definitely one of respect, but also one, I kind of spoke earlier, something I wanted to emulate, just, seeing one of the pastors, Pastor Paul, just when he wasn't preaching in the pew with his children, just seeing how involved he was during the service and encouraging them, through the liturgy and all, just emulating them in life. And then being able to speak with them, be it after Bible study, through email, just seeing the love and care they showed not only to the word of the Lord, but also to the congregants, to each one, showing them that special attention and care.
What does this mean for your whole family now? This was quite a process to pack up and move everybody. You're starting summer classes already at Concordia Seminary. So just last week, you guys loaded up and made the move to Fort Wayne. What does that look like for a whole family to make that big move? What does this mean for your wife? What does this mean for you, Jenni? What does this mean for all the kids to make this move as a family?
Well, it's funny. As we've been talking with more people making this transition and everything, I've kind of quipped that I believe that my son, Ethan, and Ross were called at the same time, because Ethan he wants to be a pastor. And, I was thinking about this today, that the timing, I kind of expected seminary one day when Ross told me that, he'd been thinking about it and that he felt that seminary was what we needed to do. I kind of was like, I wasn't surprised. I was kind of expecting it. I was not expecting to move with 3 small children. That was not how I envisioned this type of transition going. I thought, maybe once the kids are, in college, then we'll kind of do, a late second career change type thing. But, the timing of it, again, to echo what Ross said, timing, is all God's timing and everything. But I think it's also going to be really special to have, our kids at such a young age, getting to be exposed to so many different pastors and to see what that process is. For our son, he's 5, these years are so important for him to learn and to grow in his understanding of the Lord. And I just think it's going to be invaluable time of community, with all the seminarians and the seminarian families and their kids, to really get to support each other and know each other and learn to love and know the Lord in a different way that not all kids get to do.
You mentioned that you were expecting seminary at some point, but maybe not with littles at home. What was that conversation that you guys had to talk through whether now was the right time?
Well, so I remember this moment very distinctly. I'm in the kitchen, I don't know, probably doing dishes or whatever in the kitchen. And Ross comes in and he goes, "We need to talk." And like, that is not something that usually comes out of my husband's mouth. Those words, that's not usually how we start conversations. And so I'm standing there. I like just look at him like, wait, what? What? I'm like, this has to be serious. Like, what just happened? What's going on? You know? And then he's like, well, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Just, you know, I think, I think it's time to go to seminary. And I was like, oh, okay, just that. I was like, oh, okay, well, we can do that. We can do this. And, you know, for me, it was never really, there was no hesitation. There was no question. It was just, okay, let's just figure out how to make this work. Because, you know, I knew this was going to be coming one day. I knew seminary was coming one day. And, you know, if Ross said that God told him that now's the time, then now's the time. And, you know, up we go.
We're going to talk more about what it feels like to pack up the whole family and move to seminary for that formation experience and the seminary life and seminary community as well. We'll continue the conversation with the George family in just a moment. You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin, we believe you were created for a reason, to use your God-given gifts to help others, to live a life of self-sacrifice in a me-first world, to live a life that's uncommon. Whether you're taking one of 50-plus online programs or learning with us in person on the shores of Lake Michigan, you'll be equipped to make an uncommon impact. Learn more at cuw.edu. Concordia University, Wisconsin. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We are in the Set Apart to Serve series today, talking with the George family, Ross and Jenni, who are preparing for seminary life as they've made the move from Houston to Fort Wayne. So from Texas to Indiana to prepare for Ross's pastoral formation and to be a part of seminary life and seminary community. So they've packed up the family, 3 little kids and husband and wife, all with a moving truck, and moved into a home in Fort Wayne. That's got to be a bit challenging, I'm sure, to pack up all the things that accoutrements that come with small children. So how long did it take to prepare for this move?
You know, we decided to, I feel like we've been in transition for, 9 months now. So we decided to sell our house pretty early so that we could either look for homes up here, kind of just be free to transition as we wanted to. So we packed up, you know, half of our belongings, nothing that we would need, you know, right now. And sold our home and moved in with my in-laws, who are wonderful people. And we were there for probably 8 or 9 months. And so it was just this weird time of transition forever, it felt like. And then all of a sudden it's May and we say, oh, we should start packing. And so I start, you know, packing here and there and trying to, you know, get all of our stuff together. And then there is a storm and knocks out our electricity for 7 days, 4 days before we were supposed to start driving. So this was the week that I was planning to pack everything, all of the rest of the toys, all of the clothes, all of the things that, you know, we kind of had been holding on and saying, oh, we can do that at the end. It's just going to be small stuff. There's a lot of small stuff with the kids. There are a lot of boxes, and we just kept putting more boxes together and more boxes together. And then when the electricity went out, it was just kind of one of those, we're down in Houston and, you know, the weather was up in like 90s, 100s. So we couldn't pack for a week because it was just unbearable. You really couldn't be inside a home like that without any air conditioning. So it ended up being quite the whirlwind when the electricity finally came back on. So I was trying to say goodbye to everybody and pack all at the same time. And, you know, toward the end of the U-Haul, Ross is like, it's not all going to fit. It's not all going to fit. And we're trying. We were supposed to leave at, I think, 9 o'clock in the morning. We didn't end up leaving till 6 p.m. that evening. Well, so it was just quite a whirlwind, a bit chaotic, but we're here and ended up spending 2 nights on the road to get here, which wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just moving in and out of hotels is always frustrating and trying to keep track of kids and stuff. And it was a fun time.
I think many people listening can sympathize with moving stories and nightmares, and everyone has some battle scars from making some of these major moves, and things just tend to not go as you planned. And you see how the Lord provides even in the midst of moving your family across country. So
absolutely.
It's all memories.
Yes.
How have you been settling into Fort Wayne? I know classes are starting for Ross. How has that settling in process been going?
Yeah, well, classes officially kick off next Monday. So this week, just trying to get as settled as we can into our new home. And yeah, just kind of cracking open the Greek book, trying to get somewhat familiar with it. I do have the alphabet down. Please don't quiz me on it. Oh. But no, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but I'm excited. I'm anxious, but also know that God is with me and my classmates, and he will see us through to the end of it. That it's all to better us. It's going to equip us with the tools we need to further learn and further refine our reading and understanding of the New Testament in its original Greek. And that's the language God chose, and it's exciting. So it's going to fully embrace it, live it, breathe it, and be the better for it.
How do you see your previous career, your previous education being a part of what you're doing now? How do you see it helping you in this path?
I'm hoping time management, definitely. I know working that 9-to-5 job, I'm prepared to treat school as such. I mean, I will be a full-time student, so let's treat it like a full-time job. It's hard being away from the kids for 8-9 hours, sometimes more. But you learn how to budget for the time. You learn where to, I don't say cut corners, but just where to make sacrifices. Just to spend as much time with the family as possible. That's what will be hard, because I have been working remotely since 2018. So, I have been able to take, instead of taking a coffee break, let's go do a little 5-minute, 10-minute thing with the kids. So that's going to be a little different, a little hard. Again, it's only temporary, and we will all be better forward with it.
What are you looking forward to after you get through summer Greek? What are you looking forward to in your first year?
Well, as I was looking through the calendar, I was reading about, Thanksgiving break, Christmas break. I thought those dates were long over. I don't have to take PTO around Christmas time. So definitely look forward to that. But no, just learning from the world class professors. I went to church here at Redeemer Lutheran in Fort Wayne, and I was able to meet a handful of them who will be there, and just the kindness, gentleness, and really encouraging. They're pulling for you, and they want you to succeed. And that's comforting, very comforting. So yeah, just learning from, my opinion, the best in the business, and just pray that I am able to retain it all. So.
Jenni, what are the next steps for you and the family? I'm sure figuring out routine, trying to find some sense of routine, I'm sure will be a challenge. But what are the next steps for you and the family?
I mean, just the most next steps. I've got to get some drapes hung in the house. There's a lot of settling to do with the home still, because I guess we've spent 4 or 5 nights now. So just getting the house together. I'm hoping there's some social events coming up, so where we can meet some of the other seminary families, and I'm hoping for our children to meet some other seminary children, to get to know and play with and kind of hang out with all summer, and just have a enjoyable and relaxing summer before the school year starts. Ethan will be starting kindergarten, so it'll be a fun time for him, and just want to make sure that we enjoy our summer before we get there.
Mm-hmm. Now you guys are fresh through the moving process and newly into seminary. Do you guys have wisdom or advice for seminary students who may be looking forward to this same kind of journey maybe next year?
Yes, sorry about that. I know dead air is not good for radio, but I also hate using the fillers of ums. I think about it. No, biggest thing, just embrace it. Embrace the chaos. Looking back, you do usually only remember the good times. Thinking back to my time in the Navy, all the days I was sick and tired of it, just get me out of here. Looking back, those bad days were few and far between. That there were so many good times, good days. They go by fast. So just really try to live in the moment and trust in the Lord. So.
Now that you're settled in Fort Wayne, what does this mean for your congregation back home in Texas? What does this mean for the folks at Memorial to have a son of the congregation, a member of the congregation, now in pastoral formation at seminary?
Based on the send-off we got, they're all very excited for us. Yeah, they've had a number of people want to offer. They want me to be able to focus on my studies and not worry about, where our next meal is coming from. That meant so much coming from them. Just the additional sacrifices that they're also making to help us. Well, not only to help us, but, for the church, for the greater church, to ensure we have a strong roster of pastors, because so many parishes out there do not have pastors. I think there were close to 50 or so calls at this last call service that went unanswered. And it truly get the love and support from them. And we already do miss them terribly, but I plan to stay in touch. And when we are able to come home, it'll be nice to return and worship with them. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Who starts class? Well, I guess you have summer classes. Ethan doesn't have summer classes.
Yes. I'll start on June 10th with summer Greek, and then we will both start after, that'll be Labor Day. I think we start the same day, actually. So, I don't know if I'll be standing up, with the chalkboard with him.
Yes.
We need a first day of school picture.
First day of school picture.
Jenny might try to twist my arm to do it with him, but we'll see. But
Well, thank you so much. Thank you both for spending some time with us, sharing your story. Ross and Jenni George, preparing for seminary life and Ross's pastoral formation. Thanks for being our guest today on the Coffee Hour.
Thank you so much for having us. God bless you both. And we're excited.
Thank you so much.
You can learn more about Set Apart to Serve by visiting lcms.org/SAS. You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Wilseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.